Hi, my name's Scott Hoke, and I'm a radio and television host. My first voice gig was actually when I was just out of college, and I got a call from a producer who said, "We'd like you to come and read the script for Firestone." And I thought, oh, that's cool. And so I got there, and I'm in the studio, and there's 3 or 4 producers in the other room, and so I start reading the script, which is a couple of hours, if I remember correctly. And about halfway through, they start talking amongst themselves, and I didn't know what they were talking about, whether they were saying, well, this guy can't cut it, let's get somebody else. What it turned out to be was I was originally hired to be the scratch track guy, which is just the example that they were going to edit their video to. And then they were going to hire somebody else to do it for real, come in and do the real voice over the video that they had cut. Well, they liked what I was doing enough that they decided to have me do the entire script instead of just being the scratch track guy. So that ended up being my first real voiceover gig. And it was, you know, for a big company, Firestone, which was very cool. When you tune in WFYI, it's really a learning experience. We have what we call driveway moments sometimes when you're listening to a story. And one of the beauties of public radio is that we can expand on a story. We can take a story that might get 30 seconds on a commercial station, and we might spend 7 or 8 minutes on it. Our target audience really is educated people. Most of them have college degrees. We have a lot of listeners and viewers that are business people, doctors, lawyers. Also, a lot of nonprofit companies are in our demographic because we are a nonprofit, so we kind of target those groups as well. The driveway moment is really cool because people driving in their car are listening to this story, and they pull up wherever they're headed to their destination, whether it's home or work, and they sit there in their car and listen to the end of the story because they're so hooked on that story, they've got to stay and listen. And that's, you know, they might be late for work or late for dinner, but it's a driveway moment because they can't tear themselves away from that story. My position here would be, for lack of a better description, the host of Morning Edition, the local host of Morning Edition, which is a national program, a network program from NPR in Washington. And I'm the guy who hosts the local segment of Morning Edition on WFYI. First thing I do is generally one of our breaks within the program, underwriting some promotional things, try to get the weather forecast in there. We start doing traffic a little bit later in the morning. And the first thing I try and do is make sure I'm awake and actually warm up before I do anything on the air, because a lot of times I won't have spoken to anybody before I get here. And so I warm up in the car on the way in, just talking, not really rehearsing anything, but try to get my vocal cords in shape so it doesn't sound like I'm just waking up when the first time I turn the mic on. The best advice that I could give anybody that's starting out in broadcasting is just to be versatile, well-rounded, and try to learn as many different skills as you can. In the future, I just plan to bring good conversation, a pleasant way to wake up, and not somebody who's going to be too much in your face when your alarm clock goes off at 5:30 or 6 in the morning. If somebody was watching 20 years from now and they saw this video, I would hope that they would say, yeah, I remember him, he did a good job, that they would consider me a man of his word, a man of integrity, somebody who did what he said he was going to do.